Well, there's really no sector of our economy, probably, that receives more taxpayer subsidies than universities, higher education. All of it comes from the federal government. So the question is, are these colleges teaching anything worthwhile, or is it purely propaganda designed to make your kids hate you and the country that made this all possible? I think you know the answer, but the Young America's Foundation has just produced a list of 12 of the craziest college courses taught at taxpayer-financed schools around the country. Spencer Brown is a spokesman at Young Americans for Freedom, and he joins us tonight. Spencer, thanks very much for coming on. So some of these, I have a list of some of them, and actually it's so infuriating I had to stop reading it because we listed it with the cost of the college attached. But I'm just going to start at the beginning. Swarthmore, Queering God, Feminist and Queer Theology. By the way, $68,000 a year to attend that school.
It's absurd what students are paying to supposedly receive an education when really they're just being indoctrinated. And so what the survey from Young America's Foundation found in courses like this, it addresses the idea that the God of the Bible has always been masculine and is definitely male, but then it goes on to ask, or is he? And then looks at different attributes of God in order to twist his character and his words and his actions and making him into a feminine figure or impacting, feminist theology on this important issue.
These are also dumb. Davidson is $66,000 a year. The college is Latinx, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, Sexual Dissonance and Guerrilla Translation.
I was recently yelled at on Twitter for saying Latinx. Apparently it's Latinx, but when it's a made-up word, I don't think you can pronounce it wrong.
Probably not.
But this addresses sort of something your last guest was talking about, which is this matrix of oppression, and everybody's a victim, and it's this victim Olympics that you have young people in, even in college now. And so this addresses a number of things. The description for that course is especially long, and it goes into everything from the abolition of prisons to ableism, speciesism, but it of course views them all through a leftist pro-pleasure perspective.
Well, and what's interesting about the description is that it has grammatical errors and made up words. I mean, it's written by dumb people, I guess, not surprisingly. So is this. This is from Northwestern, apparently a good school. Unsettling Whiteness, 76 grand to go to Northwestern, by the way. And it's got the word narratable, which is not a word. So wouldn't a college professor know? I mean, right? Have a handle on the English language?
Well, you would think so, but obviously what the left has done is taken these centers of higher learning, allegedly, and just turned them into these fantasy lands where they're not even using real words anymore. And when we compile this report, this year's release of Comedy and Tragedy has more than 250 courses in total. And when I compile it, you should see the spell check. It just lights up because these are not real words. And that one addresses, the cultural construction of whiteness as an institution, supposedly making it out to be that race is a social construct now.
At some point, maybe you guys should just do a survey of America's parents and ask, is it worth it? You're going into debt for this, really?
Well, clearly it's not. If you look at recent reports, 40% of recent graduates are considered underemployed. Yeah. And then you have $1.5 trillion in student loan debt right now. This isn't an equation that adds up.
No, it really isn't. Thank you for saying that. Spencer Brown, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
It was great.